YouTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be doing a little look at my latest sort of book log, planner log, so to speak. I mentioned this in a video recently, and a couple of you have said that you were interested to see what I'm doing to record my reading. I wasn't so sure I was going to do it because it's not very sexy, if I'm honest. You know, not as sexy as a lot of people's planner designs, but this is it. And it's in a folder, and it is, I've used some printouts from Etsy that I got from a great Etsy store called Jessica Jade Designs. You download them yourself, you can print them off at home or wherever you've got a printer, and then slot them in, and I'll show you. They're not artistic in any way, they're not sexy, but they're doing the job for me for recording what I'm reading, because I was just finding it a struggle. I've tried bullet planners, I've tried book logs, I've tried all sorts of different things, and they just weren't working. And I've tried you know, online, I've tried Excel spreadsheets, I've tried the people's spreadsheets that they put out, I've tried making my own spreadsheets. It just doesn't work. It didn't do everything that I wanted it to. I didn't find that I wanted to go on the computer to log that. I just wanted somewhere I could scribble some notes and colour some things in and keep a track. And so I think this is going to be good for me, but we will see. But yeah, let's slip now to the look through, and I'll just show you a little bit of a look through in case it's something you're interested in. I'm not sponsored, I haven't been given any of this for free. This is just literally because this is what I'm using and someone asked to have a look at it. So apologies for the shoddy camera work. I tried my best, but I don't do planner videos, so you know, unless it's pointing at my face, I'm not very good at like lining it all up. Yeah, but have a look, and if it's something you're interested in, I'll link down below the website I got it from, but there's loads on Etsy and there's loads to pick from, which is part of the thing I like, because I can always add to this later if I find that there's something that it's not covered that I want to cover. Anyway, cut to this. So anyway, this is the planner printout that I've been using. I bought myself this folder. It's sort of a mermaid print, and I love it just for its shininess. I can't lose it in the room. And then I printed out these printouts from Jessica Jade Designs, and I printed them out in A4. You can print them out in A5. They come with sort of some different downloads, and I have in some instances stuck some stickers and things on for myself, but I think that this has got everything that I want in it. So let me just take you through a little flick through. So you get this just one more chapter cover. You can use it as a cover, you can not use it, you can use it to separate different things. I just thought it was quite cute. And then one of the things that I really enjoy is this on my bookshelf page. What I've decided to do is, rather than talk about the books that are on my bookshelf, I've actually just been colouring different books in. As I read them, I colour a book in, and then I put what number book that is. So I've had to print off a few copies already because I'm past the stage of one bookshelf. So as you can see, I'm just onto my second bookshelf with 89 books read, but that's how I'm using it for that. So there's that printout on there. Then next is a book log. I'm using this to log all the books that I've read this year, and you can see there's a space for the title, author, the date, so I'm just putting the month that I read it, and then you can colour in your rating, which I think is really good. And I'm putting a little star, which you'll see there was none in the first bit there, but here I'm putting a little star in like a rainbow puffy stars that I bought next to my 5-star reads, so that when it comes to the end of the year, I can quickly see what my favourite books had been throughout the year. So another thing that's on here, you can see I've got quite a long book log. I've got a few more printed off ready, is this is a page where you can do a series log, but rather than actually logging the series I'm reading, because I don't tend to read that many series, is I've been doing some projects. This top project here is my project on the YA Book Prize. I've been reading all the books for that. Unfortunately, it's already been announced the winner for it, but I'm still going to continue and see if I agree with them. And then this bottom one is books about bees that I've been doing as a bit of a theme. You can see I've only read one so far, so I really need to get on the case with that. So I thought that would hold me a bit more accountable, and I just printed off the front covers and stuck them down, and it gives you a space to do some notes and also put your rating underneath as well. Then I've got a few pages of that in case I want any more. I printed that off from somebody else. I'm not sure what I'm doing with it yet, but that was from a different Etsy store, so don't worry too much about that. There's this bookish wish list where you can make a list of spring, summer, autumn and winter books you're looking forward to coming out. I haven't filled this in yet because I'm not great at wish listing in terms of season, but I will give it a go. Then there is a page for book recommendations. Because I've only just printed this out, I haven't sort of filled it in yet, but you can put a book, author, who it's recommended by, and then colour it in when it's been read. So I really like the idea of that. This is my to be read, and I'm using this as my yearly one. So I've got 12 books on there that I want to read this year, and I will sort of, I don't know, do something to them once I've read them, maybe put a tick next to them, or maybe put a little star or something to show that I've read them. But that's just to show me the books that I would really like to get read this year. They're the biggest books on my TBR really. I sort of tended to concentrate on books that were big books. Next is a yearly reading list, and for this I'm not doing a yearly reading list as such. I am writing down my 5-star reads from each month under each individual month. So you can see I didn't have any 5-star reads in January. In February I had 1, in March I had 2, and then I had 3 in April and 1 in May. So I just think that's quite interesting to be able to see where the 5-star reads were. So I've been putting them in with the names of the books. Then there's another printout that says go away, I'm reading. I'm just using that to split it up, and then I'm going into the months. So this is a monthly TBR. I decided here not to print out the front covers. I just wrote them down. I was wasting printer ink. And then there's a little space underneath each to colour in when you've read them. So far I've read 2 of those, and I'll just colour them in. And they're just books that I've sort of got ongoing things going on. I'm keeping it quite light in June, so they're not necessarily ones that I have to read. So that's your sort of monthly TBR. Then I've got my reading log, which I'm putting down instead of doing date and page number, because this is meant to be a reading log for as you're reading. I'm using this to say the books that I have read. So my top one is Go Set a Watchman. The author was Harper Lee. And then in this one where you can put the date, I've put what type of fiction it is or genre. So I've got a fiction and a non-fiction in there. And instead of page, I'm putting what star rating I gave it, just because that's how I want to do this one. Then I've been interested, this was one of the printout, is 25 and 5. And I don't know this myself, but I think I'm sure it's probably something to do with blogging. But the idea is to try and read 25 hours worth in 5 days. So you colour in the hours on this. There's a few different options actually on the printout. There's loads of different options for layouts, but this is the one that I like the best. So at the top I'm writing down the books that I've been reading, because I have actually been doing this the last few days. And then on the first day you can see I read for 3 hours, the second day 3 hours, and then yesterday I managed to read for 6 hours. Yay! Today not so well, so I don't suppose I'm going to complete it, but I just think it's really good, and it's sort of a bit challenging, and it's getting me to sort of sit down and read a bit more. And then I've got another one coming up later in the month because I'm doing a readathon, and I've got my little readathon sheet here which tells me about the readathon, the challenges and the books I'm doing for those challenges, some notes and some goals. You could add more to it than I have, I'm sure. And then I'm doing another one. I'm doing another readathon where I've also got my reads and my books. These are the challenges for this one and the books that I'm going to be reading. So I'm using those. There's a sort of sheet about book clubs. I do belong to a book club, so I can put in info for that and take that with me to book club to talk about things, which I like. There is a buddy read. So if you're doing a buddy read, you can put the dates in, your goals and discussion notes for them. And record how many stars you give it. This is one of my favourite things that I've been using. This is for book reviews. So it's a small space, you put the title, you write your information, and then you can put your rating in. And that really helps me to sort of focus for when I'm doing reviews on my channel, which I've really enjoyed using actually. I found it quite helpful. So as you can see, I've been writing in there. And I've got a few of those because I plan to do it for every book that I read this month. And obviously I can always print out more, but I've done a few for each month. And then as it goes on, it's just a repeat of the pages you've just seen for each month. And I'm just really enjoying it. And what I like about this is that Hold on, I'll turn you round. Okay, that's better. So what I really like about this is that I can add to it if I want to. If I find somebody else's planner printouts that I enjoy, I can just add them to this folder. So I'm not set with a sort of prescriptive pages. It also means that I can slot things in. If I change how I want it to look, I can just change how they are. Whereas with a bullet journal, you're sort of stuck and you've drawn them on that page and that's the page they're on. You can't move them about. I like the size. A4 works better for me because sometimes I have messy writing, sometimes I want to write big. It's not too arty. I'm discovering, as much as I would like to, I'm quite good at colouring things in, but I'm not necessarily arty, and I don't really want to spend the time to make things look pretty and take my time on them in that way. I'd rather spend that time reading, if I'm honest. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I mean, it is the first month, so I'm going to give it a go. But something I like is that if it doesn't work, it's only paper printouts, really. I mean, there is the outgoing cost. I think this particular one I got from Jade, it's Jessica Jade Designs on Etsy. I will link it down below. I think was about £16, 16 English pounds, which is quite a bit of money. But I can use this over and over again and print it every year, print extras out of each one. And I just, yeah, I really like how I can tailor it to fit what I want. So far, so good, but we'll wait and see. It could all go to pot, who knows.